We get a lot of questions about US LLCs, not only the US LLC, but a lot of those who are interested in forming a US LLC are also interested in getting some of the best credit cards in the world. So in today's video, we're going to chat about the US LLC, what that looks like to open the company, some of the requirements that often are not talked about where you can get fined up to $25,000, and then how to get into the American credit system. So first, why do I need a US LLC? Well, a US LLC is not going to be for everybody, but a US LLC does work well if you have optimized your personal tax residence is the first key component. You don't want to think about structuring a business anywhere until you have your personal tax residence structured properly as a global citizen. So once you have that, you can then go to opening a disregarded US LLC. And you will hear in many places that US LLC may be included in a residency program or for a very low cost. And yes, US LLCs online are very low cost to open, but the pricey component of a US LLC is the filing. With a US LLC, you will have to do filing each year, state filing, and also national filing. We have a great accountant on our team who understands non-resident obligations for LLCs because most US accountants will not understand this. If you file some of these requirements for your LLC either incorrectly, late, or just not at all, you can be fined up to $25,000. So the difficult part is not to open the LLC. The tricky part is really the filing aspect and also obtaining the EIN, especially if you are outside of the US. The EIN may be more difficult to obtain as it does require faxing if you're a non-resident. So if you do need a US LLC setup, and of course the accounting obligations that come with that, reach out to us below. Now, do I need a US address for a US LLC? The answer is no. You can sign up for a US LLC. You can create this entity online with any address in the world. It does not need to be a US address. And then you also will need a registered agent for any LLC, which we can help with as well. So once you have the LLC, you're going to need the ITIN, which we will help with, and you do need to get that via fax. And then you can start setting up your LLC banking once you have this EIN. So the easiest and most straightforward bank accounts that you're going to be able to open are fintech bank accounts. You have Mercury, Wise, and Relay are great options, but I never completely trust fintech banks. You don't know when regulations are going to change, especially as a non-resident. So you want to really diversify as much as possible. If you watch this channel quite often, you know that diversification is the name of the game for myself in my global citizen lifestyle, and likely also for you as well. So these fintech banks are great to open. You can open them in 1 or 2 days online. But what you're really going to need is you're going to need to fly to the US, and you're going to want to start getting into their credit system. Now, before you fly to the US, there are some steps that are required beforehand. You're going to need your ITIN number, which stands for an individual taxpayer number. It's important to note that this does not trigger any US tax obligations or tax filing in the US. However, you are going to be in the IRS system because you do have this ITIN number. Now, the ITIN number takes about 2 to 3 months, but we can help to obtain your ITIN number. And once you do have this number, that is when you can fly to the US and you can start opening credit cards and bank accounts. But would I recommend immediately getting this ITIN number and flying to the US? Absolutely not. If you are interested in getting a bank account in one of these more well-known financial institutions, such as a Bank of America or a Chase in the US, reach out to us below. We do have contacts in these banks that can help you because most of these bankers don't understand the requirements for non-Americans. They only understand what that looks like for Americans. So you want to make sure that you have the right relationships and the right people in your corner, especially as a non-American. So once you fly to the US and once you meet with these bankers, and if you are interested in their contacts as a client, we will give you access to this once you have gotten to this stage of your journey. Then you can go in branch and they will be able to help you to open up these bank accounts, and especially credit cards. Credit cards is really what you're going to be wanting. that ITIN is going to allow you to start gaining access to credit cards because it essentially works as an SSN. An SSN is only if you are American, but you're in the system, you can start getting access to credit. And an ITIN is going to do that for a foreigner. Some of these cards may also offer low or no interest for a set amount of time, potentially anywhere from 8 to 18 months. So that's another option you can explore if you are interested in getting 0% interest funding for a set amount of time. The US is the best country in the world for 0% interest funding through these credit cards, but also, of course, for traveling, points, and mile hacking. Obtaining your If you are interested in setting up your LLC, obtaining your ITIN, or truly the first component to this is your personal taxation, that is going to come before anything that we've talked about in this video, reach out to us and we can get you on the right path for what residencies are going to work best for your lifestyle, what citizenships you could work your way toward, or you could potentially outright purchase in less than a year's time. We'll work with you to figure out what this looks best for. And maybe a US LLC is not going to be your best option. It very much so depends on your situation, on your business, where your clients are from, and also what payments and payment processors you need. So this is not a one and done solution for everybody, but this is an interesting option if you are a global citizen. Don't forget to check out the rest of our videos on obtaining additional citizenship, residencies, bank accounts, and of course, optimizing your taxes around the globe.